Minister KWAKU MANU admits he independently approved the contracts for the purchase of a $64.6 million Sputnik V vaccine from Russia out of frustration. What are the implications, especially in the wake of the upsurging COVID-19 cases?
Ahead of one of the biggest festivals of the Islamic calendar, Eid al-Adha, the Accra Police Command arrests 378 suspects across the capital in an operation to ensure an incident-free celebration on Tuesday.
And later in business, the National Insurance Commission (NIC) set to revoke licenses of insurers that failed to recapitalize by December 31.
And sports, Team Ghana arrives in Tokyo ahead of the commencement of the 2020 Olympic Games on Friday, 23rd July 2021.
And later on the international front, we take you to the UK as Prime Minister Boris Johnson urges caution as most legal restrictions on social contact are lifted in England. Details of these stories and many more coming up in the next hour. Please stay.
You're welcome to the program. Let's start with some health news, where the Health Minister AGYEMANG has admitted that he independently approved the purchase of over $64.6 million contract of Sputnik V vaccines from Russia out of frustration. He appeared before the ad hoc committee of Parliament tasked to probe the controversial Sputnik V vaccines procurement agreement.
Health Minister AGYEMANG MANU told the ad hoc committee of Parliament tasked to probe the controversial Sputnik V vaccines procurement agreement that accumulated frustrations to procure the vaccines for the country compelled him to disregard parliamentary approval as required by Article 1815 of the 1992 Constitution. The minister also admitted that he made an error in not seeking parliamentary and cabinet approval in independently approving the $64.6 million contract.
Did you seek parliamentary approval before you entered into this contract?
No, please. Do you appreciate the fact that the pronouncement by the Supreme Court vis-a-vis the constitutional provision clearly talks about prior approval? You appreciate that?
Very much so. But my frustrations to try to get a vaccine for us at the heat of our second wave, I relied on the executive instrument 61 that was passed by Parliament to hide behind emergency clauses that have been invoked, to try to see if I could do that and come to Parliament to inform Parliament that this is what I have done, and therefore need regularization. I need approval to cover it, because we were in dire need of the vaccine, and I had the onus to try to procure the vaccines to vaccinate Ghanaians to protect our lives. Honorable Chair, I must be very honest with you. At the time I have mentioned my frustration was the fact that I seriously made that error, and on hindsight, it won't happen any longer.
You are aware of how we deal with emergency situations in Parliament. We have conventions and rules and regulations governing how you deal with emergency issues, i.e. appearing before the relevant committee and make a case so that the issue can be dealt with as an emergency issue. Why didn't you take advantage of that procedure?
That those were not normal times, and I was seriously in the situation that couldn't make me think properly the way you think that now I will actually address myself to the situation.
Mr. Minister, are you aware that we have dealt with issues and motions on the same day before on the floor of the House, in this House? And let me give you examples. You remember the 1.2 billion and the $100 million from the World Bank? We dealt with it the same day. Couldn't you have done that?
I could have done that, but the circumstances at the time was a little bit different.
KWAKU AGYEMANG MANU further added that the second contract with another intermediary firm, SL Global, is also under review.
Still on COVID-19, 812 people have so far died from COVID-19, while the country's active cases have spiked to 2,858. This has sparked fears that the country could be entering a third wave. There's more in the following news desk report. In recent times, concerns have been raised over the disregard for the COVID-19 protocols to limit the spread of the virus, with mask wearing reducing and events that potentially spread the virus being held in full swing across the country. According to the Ghana Health Service, the country's active cases stand at 2,858, with 812 patients dying. Recently, the country recorded the most contagious coronavirus variant, called the Delta variant, which originated from India. As critical cases are rising at an alarming rate, there are fears that Ghana's healthcare system may soon be overwhelmed. So far, only about 1 million out of the targeted 20 million citizens have been vaccinated. The government is currently racing against time to procure more vaccines to avert a third wave.
Now, the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, the Metropolitan Health Directorate and the Public Health Emergency Committee wishes to bring to the notice of the general public that the deadly COVID-19 pandemic is still in the Kumasi Metropolis. And here is a news desk report.
The new cases of the Delta variant in the metropolis were detected soon after the Christmas festivities in December 2020. From 1st July to 13th July 2021, health facilities within the metropolis have recorded over 200 cases, with 10 mortalities occurring at different treatment centers within the metropolis. The upsurge of the new cases in the metropolis have been mainly attributed to the general disregard for the COVID-19 safety protocols, funerals, parties and other social gatherings. The safety protocols, that is, wearing of face masks in public places, washing of hands with soap and running water, avoiding handshake and social distancing. Accordingly, operators of lorry stations, transport, market and other public and private entities are to ensure that these safety protocols are enforced within their jurisdictions. The mass media is also encouraged to intensify the education and sensitization of the deadly virus and its safety protocols in the metropolis. By this statement, the Assembly is entreating the general public to come on board in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic in the Kumasi Metropolis.
The Greater Accra Regional Police Command, as part of efforts to rid the metropolis of criminal activities and create an enabling environment for an incident-free Eid al-Adha celebration on Tuesday, has arrested 378 suspects in its recent operation. There's more in this report.
The one-week operation, which began on the 13th to 19th of July 2021, saw to the arrest of 354 males and 24 females from various hideouts in Accra. The operation was conducted simultaneously across all division and district commands and in areas such as Soutum, Kwabenya, Osu, Kotobabi, Airport, Dansoman, Oyibi, Mamprobi, Abokobi, Ayimensa, Dakuman, Cantonment, Kaneshi, Kolebu, Kokrobite, Adenta, Tesano, Legon, and Nungwa. The suspects are between the ages of 19 to 57 years and they have been detained for screening. Those found culpable will be arraigned before court. Items retrieved include quantities of dried leaves suspected to be marijuana, laptops, mobile phones, knives, cutlasses, and other offensive weapons. The police appealed for the public to continue to offer police the needed support in its crime-fighting effort in the area of volunteering credible information.
Well, meanwhile, the Ghana Police Service has stated that it is poised to provide the necessary security for the safety of the planned procession of members of the Fix the Country movement On Wednesday, 4th August 2021, the police administration held a meeting with the conveners at the police headquarters here in Accra on 19th July 2021. Now, according to the police, all matters relating to the special event was discussed and agreed, including the routes and COVID-19 protocols. The police and conveners will continue to deliberate, and a statement from the service indicated all of these.
With the Ghana Police Service, the police administration has indicated that it has not put out any advertisement for recruitment and therefore cautions the general public against fake police recruitment claims and advertisement. The police administration assures that application for recruitment into police service and requisite qualifications for this year 2021 will be published in the national dailies, particularly in the Daily Graphic and the Ghanaian Times in due time. Until then, no person should fall victim to any advertisement purporting to recruit people into the Ghana Police Service. The police administration further states that it will not authorize any individual or group of persons to receive monies on behalf for recruitment into the service. As a result, no person should pay money to any individual or group of persons with a view of facilitating recruitment into the Ghana Police Service. Persons found culpable of such acts would be arrested and prosecuted.
Well, let's still stay on the safety and security of all, and the police have called for sanity on the roads to help decrease the carnage, as records show that accidents in Ghana have increased over the past 3 years and over the last year as well. The increase was due to disrespect for traffic regulations, especially by motorcycle riders. Now, the National Road Safety Authority says the increase in vehicular numbers is partly responsible for the spate of accidents in the country. We put together these slides to show you as indication of the rise in the number of road accidents from 2020 to 2021. As you can see on your screen, the total number of accidents recorded in from between January and June 2020, 6,670. The vehicles involved are these. Now, for commercial vehicles, you're looking at 4,151 commercial vehicles. Private vehicles, you're looking at 4,430 and 2,551 motorcycles. These are the vehicles involved in motor accidents between January and June 2020. On pedestrian knockdowns, it noted that 1,175 pedestrians were knocked down and 305 were killed. This data is coming from the Motor Traffic and Transport Department of the Ghana Police Service. Total deaths, we're looking at 1,140 and persons injured 6,856. These numbers are from between January and June 2020. Now, in 2021, a sharp increase. Total number of accidents reported 8,118. And the vehicles involved have also increased. Commercial vehicles, you're looking at 4,948. Private vehicles, you're looking at 5,868. And motorcycles, 3,157. Pedestrian knockdowns, 1,470. Total deaths, 1,454. Now, this is the gender breakdown of motor accidents between January and June 2021. For males below the age of 18, we are looking at 134. We're talking about children here. For above 18 males, you're looking at 1,078. For females, below the age of 18, 66, and above the age of 18, 176. Persons injured between January and June 2021, 8,188. These are data from the Motor Traffic and Transport Department of the Ghana Police Service.
Very staggering figures over there. Now, still on motor accidents, reacting to the rise in the number of road accidents, Superintendent Alexander Obin, who's the Director in charge of Education Research, Motor and Traffic And Transport Department called for a review of the road traffic policies amongst other interventions to reduce the carnage on our roads. He's been speaking to Francisca Kakaforson on Good Afternoon Ghana.
Some of the road network have to be dualized. We cannot run away from it. We also need to have hands on motorcycle. The policy must change. We must look at it.
To what?
It doesn't reside with me, and I think it is tried that solution lies elsewhere. The country must sit and look at the policy again, because the policy was crafted and incorporated in the law. Same has to be taken as a second, because we have operated with it since 2012. We need to do evaluation, isn't it? And therefore, I posit that again. I think driver training is very important, and particularly high-risk commercial drivers, and of course, removal of obstructions. People are getting killed, and we must take a second look at our towing system. You see, it should not be lying fallow. We have to look at it, and then the kind of investment that government wants to put in terms of automating traffic enforcement. We need to have hands on and focus on it to change, because the road seems to be very free. The deterrence is not all that stringent, because if it is deployed to sea with human eye, there's likelihood that police cannot be deployed everywhere, and drivers can carry on with their whatever. And therefore, automating it and digitalizing traffic enforcement cannot be in the distant millennia. In computerizing it finally, I think that sensitization in the meantime and robust enforcement deployment alongside will go a very long way in the meantime to increase sense of detection, apprehension, as we have done between January to June, and have arrested over 1,900, and same have been convicted at the various motor courts across the country.
On his part, IBRAHIM ABASS MORO, who is the Industrial Relations Officer of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, noted the worrying trend is as a result of lack of enforcement of road traffic regulations. Yes, Mo.
Most of the time, we look at the enforcement. You see, I start with enforcement because if I drive from here to Kumasi or from here to Takoradi, and I know very well that I'm not supposed to drive above 80 kilometers per hour, and should I try to drive above, I could be arrested and prosecuted anywhere. I don't think any driver will do that. Here we are. There are no proper checks to make sure you don't contravene one of these regulations. So people try to get away with it. If they have the speed guns, as we've been saying at times, and they have about 4 or 5 checks from here to Kumasi or to Takoradi, I know very well I could be arrested and prosecuted. Should I go beyond the prescribed, I won't do that. And that will also save one of the crashes on our roads. So I always say all of us need to be talked to. All of us need to be educated. All of us need to apply the road signs that are being erected for all of us. So commercial drivers, we are not happy with the current state of accidents. Something must be done. We are all helping make sure the roads are safe. Most of our roads are not safe.
You're watching NEWSNIGHT on Metro Television. We're live on DSTV channel 277. Let's go for a quick break. We're back with more stories.
ISIS AC, Tresse, it will gold-plated things. Yet the copper pipes, Papa Binaye. Gasia, and for how Biam Rodas and Ibia, and a goom. And yet the day, Tanso of 4-in-1 filter system. 80 from a free mobano. eye kroje AC ye the horsepower neto hisense kase eye 2.5 eye 2.5 kululu pianim ye dia bepiemo eye hisense AC super promo date ni 26 July akobim 8 August 2021 upe AC afe na eche na chili na ntwe power eye hisense AC comfort to yemi 26 July akobim 8 August Madam Hisense Matiti Susehu 5 years warranty Edasutia Hisense nkwane tumi yesama Hisense everyday prices for everyday people.
The search for a reliable partner in dealing with your U-turn bus needs has been made easier and convenient with SA Automobile. SA Automobile, formerly U-turn Ghana Limited, has deals in the sale of U-turn buses, genuine spare parts, its repairs and maintenance at a highly effective workshop with remarkable speed. We also have available the sale of Camel car batteries, Weichai and Kia spare parts, Zonton cars, info@saautomobilegh.com or visit our website at www.saautomobilegh.com. SA Automobile, the pleasure of doing business with you is all ours.
Welcome back to NEWSNIGHT. So let's bring you more stories. And the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Godfrey Dame, has bemoaned what he describes as unethical behavior in public office, which he asserts is a major cause of political instability, for which the process to have the Public Officers Bill passed by Parliament must be hastened. The Attorney General made the submission at an ongoing stakeholder engagement geared towards creating awareness about the bill and to have it passed into an act this more in this report.
The conduct of the Public Officers Bill seeks to add to the justiciable provisions already in the statute book to combat corruption, check any loopholes as far as the legal framework on anti-corruption is concerned, and provide clarity on matters of conflict of interest and the code of conduct of all public officers. The stakeholders engagement organized by the Office of the Attorney General and the Ministry of Justice follows calls for a common platform to intensify advocacy and fast-track the process to have the bill reviewed and passed into law.
They need to lay down a set of far-reaching and perhaps a more fit-for-purpose set of regulations for the conduct of public officers cannot be gainsaid. It is to this urgent need that the Conduct of Public Officers Bill 2021 seeks to respond. The Conduct of Public Officers Bill is to give a more consequential effect to Chapter 24 of the 1992 Constitution. It also serves to domesticate two anti-corruption conventions ratified by Parliament on 14 December 2005. I have the fervent hope that the process of enacting the bill into law, commencing with the stakeholder engagement, will be rapid and culminate in the enactment of a law to address issues regarding financial portfolios held by public officers before assuming public office, and also other matters like links to family business, professional practices, property, investment, shareholdings, and other assets, self-dealing, partiality in the performance of duties, use of public or confidential information to further private interests, improper enrichment, care of public property, and what have you.
The Attorney General and Minister of Justice added that the bill will sufficiently address loopholes in the existing regulatory framework by providing stringent administrative measures.
The bill also seeks to address matters relating to sexual harassment and provides a gamut of stringent administrative measures and sanctions to deal with violations of the law, ranging from a bar against holding public office to penal measures. It ought to be stated that the passage of the bill into law should not prevent other public institutions from improving accountability and ethical conduct at the workplace by enacting specific codes of discipline to meet the peculiar demands of their establishment.
The bill, when passed by Parliament into law, will provide a clear understanding of the public officer's role and the discharge of his or her duties.
Lawyer Kwesi Afrifa, who leveled a $5 million bribery allegation against the Chief Justice, Justice Kwesi Eninieboa, has met with the Criminal Investigation Department for further interrogation. After the meeting, lawyer Kwesi Afrifa said he voluntarily gave himself up for interrogation and has committed no crime.
Kwesi Afrifa is a Kumasi-based lawyer who has leveled a $5 million bribery allegation against the Chief Justice, Kwesi Eninieboa. According to him, his client told him the Chief Justice has requested a bribe of $5 million to tilt justice in his favor in his litigation with the Ghana Telecommunication Company and the Lands Commission. Chief Justice Kwesi Eninieboa last week referred the allegation against him to the Crime Investigations Department (CID) for further investigation. In view of this, lawyer Kwesi Afrifa visited the CID for interrogation. After several hours at the CID headquarters, lawyer Afrifa said he has given his response during the probe.
I came here voluntarily. Nobody arrested me, and I've come to finish my business.
Is there any information you want to give out today, please?
I have absolutely no information. You may have to deal with the CID, please. Okay. All that I will say is that I have not done anything wrong. If you look at the accusations against me, I have given my response. The response is now public knowledge. What else?
Lawyer Kwesi Afrifa arrived at the CID headquarters at 9 a.m. on Monday and left the premises later at 2 p.m. Albert Bisi reporting for Metro News.
In a related development, private legal practitioner Koto Ampao has described as infantile and preposterous allegations leveled against him by another legal practitioner, Kwesi Afrifa. In a statement, lawyer Koto Ampao denied his alleged involvement in the $5 million bribery claim leveled against the Chief Justice Eninieboa by lawyer Kwesi Afrifa.
Private legal practitioner Kwesi Afrifa is currently facing disciplinary proceedings after his client, Ojiadom Obrenu Kwesi Atta the Sit, asked the General Legal Counsel to help retrieve $75,000 from the lawyer. Ojiadom the Sit dragged the lawyer to the GLC after alleging the lawyer collected $100,000 from him with a promise to help him get favorable judgment on his behalf. The chief asked the counsel to order lawyer Afrifa to refund the $100,000, saying the lawyer failed to deliver on his promise. In a response dated July 8, 2021, Kwesi Afrifa denied the claims by Ojiadom Kwesi Atta the Sit, further alleging that he was asked to refund $300,000 in legal fees to enable his client to raise a $5 million bribe to be paid to the Chief Justice to get favorable decision in the legal dispute. Kwesi Afrifa further alleged that Justice Eninieboa had agreed to ensure a favorable ruling in his case provided he selects Mr. Koto Ampao as a lawyer instead of the former. These allegations have not sat well with lawyer Koto Ampao, who is insisting that his learned colleague Kwesi Afrifa is bent on slaying his reputation and might have had his diabolical reasons for implicating him in the scandal. Lawyer Koto Ampao in the statement insists the allegations do not add up.
Away from that story, the Ghana Statistical Service has announced an extension of its census mop-up exercise, which was to end officially on Sunday, July 18, 2021 to July 30, 2021. Government statistician Professor Samuel Kobna in a press briefing said the exercise, which is about 94% complete in some areas, will allow the Ghana Statistical Service time to complete its goal of counting every Ghanaian.
As at the end of the 6th day of the initial 7-day extension that was scheduled for the 12th to the 18th July 2021, we are happy to indicate that of the households that were listed during the first phase of the exercise, 94% of the expected households have been enumerated. So indeed, moving into this week and to the rest of the month, we look forward in identifying the 6% and duly enumerating all of them. As we all would recall, the 2021 population housing census is characterized and resonates with the Sustainable Development Goals, which suggests that we should not leave anyone behind. So we're going to work assiduously to ensure that the remaining 6% are duly counted, and for that matter, their characteristics have been captured. Indeed, in all the 16 regions, with the exception of Greater Accra region, we've crossed 3/4 of the expected households, and we have their percentage of completion ranging between 91% and 100%. For this reason, we're going to continue to ensure that we count the 6% remaining as was indicated. We wish to announce to persons in Ghana that we have further extended the data collection period only in selected areas across the country. These areas have been identified based on a number of reasons.
Among the lowest performing districts were the Gan West, Gan North, Ayawaso West, Adentan Gan East, Lejukuku, Lankwantanan Madina, Bunkatamanso, Shai Osudoku and Tema West districts. The service attributed the reluctance of households to participate in the data collection, specifically diplomats, foreigners in gated communities, high-level government officials, and political leaders, households in medium to high-class residential areas.
Are areas that some people continue to remain unwilling as far as the census activity is concerned. And here, one of the districts that we place much emphasis on is the Ayawaso West Municipal. Indeed, in the Gan West and Gan North districts, these are areas, as we indicated in our previous releases, have had rapid expansion, evolution in terms of structures and settlement. So we continue to uncover new localities, which is increasing the workload in these districts more than as expected.
The government statistician added that there was an unwillingness of communities to participate in the census due to boundary disputes. Shadrach Odame Ejari, Metro News, Accra.
You're live on NEWSNIGHT on Metro Television. We go for a break and return shortly with the latest in business. Please stay.
In Ghana and in Africa, there is only one place to look to get that luxurious design and decor for your offices and homes. Visit Jamila Home. We give you the climax of luxury wherever you find yourself. Presidential and executive office furniture, living room sets, dining set, stunning mirrors, adorable wallpapers, lovely king and queen size beds, valuable antiques and antique goods, beautiful chandeliers and more. Into the bargain, we provide caring customer service, prompt delivery service, skilled and artistic full house design and decor services, and free decor ideas for your space. Our products and service is unparalleled, boasting of top-tier clients all over the globe. Jamila Home, home of first-class quality furniture, beautiful chandeliers, and antiques.
Did you know that cloth handkerchief gets dirty and wet after wiping your sweat or blowing your nose with it? Keeping a dirty handkerchief in your pocket or bag is very unhygienic. Reusing it increases your chances of getting sick from germs. That is why I always use Flora disposable handkerchiefs. Flora disposable handkerchiefs is disposable, thus making it a more hygienic option. It's thick and very absorbent. With 10 tissues in a pack, Flora disposable handkerchief is better than a cloth handkerchief. Look out for Flora toilet roll, Flora multi-purpose paper towels, Flora table napkins, and Flora box tissues in a shop near you. For bill purchases, call Delta Paper Mail on 0243 033 033.
You're welcome back from the break. It's time to bring you the very latest in business, and Winston is here. Hello, Winston.
Hello, Ifya.
What's the latest in business?
In business, the Insurance Commission intends to revoke licenses of insurance companies if they fail to recapitalize by the end of December this year. This and more coming to you shortly. And now to our first business story. The National Insurance Commission will soon revoke licenses of insurance firms that failed to recapitalize by 31st of December this year. According to the commissioner, the companies have less than 6 months to meet the new requirement of 50 million Ghana cedis, which is expected to put them in good standing to be able to underwrite big-ticket risks.
The initial deadline for companies to boost their capital bases was the end of June 2021, but due to the adverse effect of COVID-19 on companies, the insurance regulator extended the deadline to the end of December. Commissioner for the National Insurance Commission, Dr. Justice Yao Ofori, maintains that companies must meet the requirements.
The implementation of the minimum capital requirement, which is 31st, deadline is 31st of this December of this year, is still on course. And we're still encouraging insurance companies to do all they can to meet the minimum capital requirement. Most of them have brought in their strategic, their work plan on how they are going to actually achieve the 50 million cedis requirement. So it's in progress, and by the end of the third quarter, we would actually have a clear figure of those companies who might be able to make it. Okay. Most of them are doing all what they can to improve their minimum capital requirements. So
challenges.
Yeah, definitely some will face challenges, but majority of them are doing whatever they can to actually meet the minimum capital requirement.
On delays in payment of claims, the commissioner says it is developing a database to go digital.
It's actually going to be a hub on which all insurance companies would have to process their claims. Once we have that information, we can now track down people who are high risk, people who are involved in fraudulent claims, and others. As we speak, we don't have such a software, so it's very difficult to actually keep such numbers under control. We need to go digital. It will actually expedite the delay, the payment of claims, because with such a software, the regulator will have the ability to monitor when claims were reported and when claims were paid. As we speak right now, we don't have that information. We do it on case by case. Unless someone reports of a delayed claim, we don't know. But once we get a software on which all insurance companies would have to process claims, it will give us an idea how long it takes to pay claims and why claims are not being paid on time.
In June 2019, 51 lives and non-life insurers were given 2 years to increase their maximum capacity by more than a third to 50 million Ghana cedis. The minimum amount for insurers was also raised to 125 million Ghana cedis from 40 million.
And now to some oil story. Saudi Aramco's Chief Technology Officer Ahmed Al-Kuwaiti says the world's top oil producing company is aiming to become a major player in the global hydrogen market by 2050. Despite an uncertain demand outlook for the next decade, he believes hydrogen may become the new oil in the industry.
Last year, Aramco shipped blue ammonia to Japan for use in zero emissions power generation, saying it was the first in the world. Hydrogen is a clear burning gas that environmentalists say could help reduce global warming. Governments and energy companies are placing large bets on clean hydrogen, playing a leading role in efforts to lower greenhouse gas emissions. But its future use and costs are highly uncertain.
Hydrogen we see as just one more product from our industry. So if you look at the oil and gas industry, for example, or the energy industry in general, because it was before oil and gas, there was coal and there was other energy sources, and companies transformed based on the demand from the market. So early on, it was mainly oil, for example, for the oil industry. Gas came in the 1960s, and we became an oil and gas industry. And today, if hydrogen takes off the way we believe it will become an oil, gas, and hydrogen industry.
Decarbonizing energy and other industries globally using hydrogen will require investment of almost $15 trillion between now and 2050, according to the Energy Transactions Commission.
Well, today, the cedi is trading against the dollar, selling at 5 cedis 78 pesos, and against the pound selling at 7 cedis 99 pesos. On the commodities market, cocoa is trading at $2,320, while crude has dropped down to $71.39. Now, let's bring you an update from the forex and commodities market. It's been a pleasure coming your way with business. Back to Crosby and Efia for the rest of the bulletin.
Winston, thanks so much for bringing us the updates in business. This is NEWSNIGHT. We're back with sports news after this.
The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
Welcome wherever you are on Planet Football.
You can go anywhere in the world, but nobody feels football like we do.
There's no feeling like that feeling.
It's a rhythm that moves us.
A wild celebration!
The 90 hours banter before the 90-minute game.
Tony is very lucky that his father is a better person than Ole.
It's football or nothing.
Had a look, had a hit! Oh! What a finish!
Football. Le football.
Soccer.
Goal of a lifetime!
Ballon Kafa.
Splendid football. But the champagne on ice. Not done yet!
Nothing beats that.
Nothing compares to DSTV's unbeatable football offering. So stay connected to watch the best football on the planet.
Welcome back. My name is Phil Jonocote. It's time for sports. And after securing their 21st Ghana Premier League title of the weekend, some players of Accra House of Folk are looking for more laurels for the club. They spoke with Metro Sports at Soga Kope. The local Ghana team have been stationed in the Japanese town of Inawashiro for the pre-campaign ahead. The local Ghana team have been stationed in the Japanese town of Inawashiro for the pre-campaign ahead of the 2020.
I felt so sad because we came in to take the 3 points, or at worst, take a point home. But it's rather unfortunate that we lost this match. So it was painful. But what can we say? So they should expect the best of me coming season.
It was not an easy journey, and our motive behind this victory is because the club having won the league for about 11 years now, and as a new generation, we have said to ourselves that we want to make a history for the club, to write our name in the House of Folk book of record. And here we are today, jubilation. We have done with the Ghana Premier League, but this is not the target. What I'll say to my fans at the moment that we are going to put our best to go to the Africa, and for me as a player, I'm going to work extra hard to give this club more trophy and also to progress in my career.
I don't have much to say about this game, but I think the referee wasn't fair with the game, so it went against us. We won't stop here, but we're going to work more harder to meet Africa.
supporters na catch am so mo nkoso ambon pay no mo support ye na yesu yengo menumase enye se yaje ba ko ti yesi ebe mo beje ebe no consistent ye beje ato asesa.
Let's now go to Tokyo because Team Ghana have arrived in the Japanese capital ahead of the start of the Olympic Games on Friday. The local Ghana team have been stationed in the Japanese town of Inawashiro for the pre-camping ahead of the 2020 Olympic Games, which starts on Friday, 23rd July. The team is mostly made of local boxing team, weightlifters, the swimming team which are stationed in Eastern Europe, technical handlers and administrative executives of the Ghana Olympic Committee. Led by the head of mission to the Games, Mike Gray, the team bid farewell to the host city where they were given the necessary support in their training programs. In a short send-off ceremony organized by the city authorities for the team, an autographed Ghana flag was officially presented to the host city by Mike Gray to signify the appreciation and departure of the team. The chef de mission expressed the team's appreciation for the reception given them during the entire stay of the city. A member of the Black Bombers team, Suleiman Tete, who was selected as captain and one of Ghana's flag bearers of the opening ceremony, expressed his excitement for the role given him.
I want to thank all of Ghana GOC committee for choosing me as a general captain in flag bearer. This is our first time to be in the Tokyo, Japan, the game village, and we are ready to do our best to the nation.
The rest of Ghana's athletes and participants of the Olympic Games are expected to join the local team in the team village on the 20th of July ahead of the opening ceremony on Friday. We're still talking about the Olympics. A delegation from the Australian Sports Ministry have arrived in Tokyo to bid for the 2032 Olympic Games.
The Australian city of Brisbane is the front runner and has the approval of the IOC's executive board. The choice will be put to a final vote on Wednesday, July 21. The delegation was headed by the Australian Sports Minister, Richard Colbeck, and also included Queensland Premier Anastasia and Lord Mayor of Brisbane, Adran Shrina.
This is a couple of days to go. It's the countdown now, and fingers crossed we'll be successful. So the Lord Mayor's with me as well, so it's a great team effort, isn't it, Adrian?
Oh, it sure is. We came over on a plane full of athletes, and they're all here to compete and to do Australia proud. We're here to compete in a different way, to make sure that Brisbane, Queensland gets the Games in 2032. We're not taking anything for granted. We're here to work, we're here to get the job done, and we're here to bring it home.
That's right.
If Brisbane is elected as expected, it would become the third Australian city after Melbourne in 1956 and Sydney in 2000 to host the Summer Olympics. Several cities and countries had publicly expressed an interest in staging the 2032 Games, including Indonesia, Budapest, China, Doha, and Germany's Ruhr Valley. But in a new process that does not openly pit cities against each other, Brisbane had already moved ahead of any rivals in February, having won praise from the IOC.
Very excited to be here. It's a very big week for Australia, for Brisbane and Queensland, and looking forward to playing my part in hopefully successfully bringing home the 32 games.
Australia is facing this pandemic just as the rest of the world, and we want a time in the future where we can open our arms and welcome warmly people from all around the world. But at the moment, our job is to get and secure those Olympics, and that will open up a decade worth of opportunity.
Well, that's it for sports. My name is Faye John Quartier. Harriet is standing by for the latest in showbiz. Harriet?
Hi, Johnny. Well, thank you for that one. It's time for entertainment news. There's more after this. Organizers of Western Music Awards Westline Entertainment have announced that this year's ceremony, slated for Saturday, August 7, 2021, will be dedicated to Castro. The hip-life artist, who hails from the Western region, was earlier this month legally declared dead after he allegedly drowned in 2014.
The award ceremony is one of the region's biggest events, dedicated to recognize artists who have made significant impact in their respective music genres. The organizers of the award seek to dedicate this year's ceremony, slated for Saturday, August 7, 2021, to the late Castro. There will be a special dedication to Castro at this year's edition. Is of keen interest to us because for 5 years we have had the unflinching support of the showbiz player and the people of Western region who are doing something exceptional this year. Castro, a hip life musician from Takrade, who disappeared 7 years ago while he went jet skiing at Adan, has officially been declared dead. The organizers also said that as a result of the ban on social gathering due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this year's award will be held in a hybrid style with 60% virtual and 40% live audience at the Best Western Plus Atlantic Hotel. With the tagline, "The Power of Music," the award will be broadcast on all their social media handles, Western Music Award Ghana on Facebook and on YouTube, with 3 radio stations in the Western region transmitting it live on air.
American media personality, socialite and businesswoman Kim Kardashian West has commenced a rebranding of her beauty cosmetic company, Kim Kardashian West Beauty Product. According to her, the initiative has nothing to do with her divorce from her ex-husband and rapper Kanye West.
Even though Kim Kardashian and Kanye West are no longer spouses, the duo still seem to be on professional terms. The former couple have been working together on Kim's rebrand within her KKW Beauty Company. Kim Kardashian West claims KKW Beauty rebranding has nothing to do with divorce from Kanye. Earlier this month, Kim Kardashian, the namesake founder, announced that the brand will temporarily stop its operations in order to relaunch its completely new brand with new formulas. The revamp of the brand comes in the midst of Kardashian's high-profile divorce from hip-hop superstar Kanye West. Though the timing coincides, the Kardashian beauty brand claims that the rebranding has absolutely no connection with the imminent divorce. Business of Fashion obtained a quote from a spokesperson for the brand stating that in regards to the overarching e-commerce platform, branding was Kim's vision from the beginning. Currently, KKW Beauty is tied up in an ongoing litigation which sees its manufacturer Seed Beauty suing minority stakeholder Coty Incorporated for sharing trade secrets. Coty Incorporated also holds a majority stake in the Kim's sister Kylie Jenner's makeup brand Kylie Cosmetics. Mario Nattarelli of branding agency MBLM commented on the rebranding, sharing, "This form of brand evolution can help attract investors or scale a business or its offerings, or simply elevate the brand's perception beyond that of an individual. In the case of KKW Beauty, this brand evolution is likely a combination of legal and product changes that will likely stay inextricably linked with Kim herself." Back in August 2020, KKW Beauty supposedly filed a trademark for Skin by Kim, the beginning to its new skincare line. Kim Kardashian has now not only opened into the cosmetics industry, but also in fragrance and skincare.
News on Newsnight, my name is Harriet Addy. Over to Crosby and Efia for the rest of the news.
Harriet, always good to see you. Thanks for entertainment. You're watching Newsnight. We'll now take you across the Ghanaian border. Now in international news, the long-running corruption trial of South Africa's former president, Jacob Zuma, whose imprisonment on a separate charge sparked days of deadly unrest and looting across the country, has resumed. Zuma appeared virtually in the High Court on Monday, where he faces 16 charges of fraud, corruption and racketeering related to the 1999 purchase of fighter jets, patrol boats and military gear from 5 European arms when he was deputy president. And now on Monday, armored vehicles and heavily armed soldiers and police were stationed outside the court amid fears the resumption of the trial would spark further violent protests, which had eased over the weekend.
We now take you to the United Kingdom, where Prime Minister Boris Johnson has urged caution as most legal restrictions on social contract are lifted in England. There are now no limit on how many people can meet or attend events. Nightclubs reopened at midnight, and table service will not be necessary in pubs and restaurants. Now, face coverings will be recommended in some spaces, but not required by law. That's our time to allow for this edition of Newsnight on Metro Television. But before we go, a recap of our top stories. Health Minister KWAKU MANU admits he independently approved the contract for the purchase of a $64.6 million Sputnik V vaccine from Russia out of frustration.
Accra Police Command arrests 378 suspected criminals across the capital in an operation to ensure an incident-free celebration ahead of one of the biggest festivals on the Islamic calendar, Eid al-Adha, tomorrow, July 20.
And the National Insurance Commission, NIC, is set to revoke licenses of insurers that failed to recapitalize by December 31.